population of approximately 31 million people and beautiful mountainous terrains, Afghanistan is a country in the Middle East. Which means many people think of 2001. After the 9/11 attack on Al-Qaeda, the Taliban was quickly credited for helping harbor terrorists that were a part of the attack. Many also think of Operation Enduring Freedom with missile strikes targeting the Taliban, bombs, bullets.
Freeze and refocus, because this video is addressing a part of Afghanistan that holds the courage of 100 soldiers and demonstrates the persistence of a lifetime.
In Afghanistan, you're not living in your choice. You have to listen to your father, to your brother, to your family, what they want. For marriages, they're just quiet and silent, and whatever they are. We had I saw one of in my neighborhoods, the girl was 10 years old. Can you believe that she married with the man, 35 years old man?
The two final Afghan candidates in the runoff election for president have each indicated that they would sign this agreement promptly after taking office. So I'm hopeful that we can get this done.
Afghanistan, which is next to both Pakistan and Iran, has suffered since the Taliban took control in 1996. While their government is now an Islamic republic and the Taliban isn't in control, it is still one of the most challenging places in the world to be a woman. Searching for those who had experienced life in Afghanistan, I found a woman named Zohra Salmani. She created a documentary called To Kill a Sparrow. The following scene is from the trailer.
فرار کردم 3.5 سال فرار بودم بعد از 3.5 سال پدرم من گرفت 3.5 سال بعد باز من بندی کرد پدرم
از مردن زدن کشتن ترس نداریم بر ما فقط یک گندشی زدن
First with the head of prison and convince him that I want to do a story, and in Kabul the guy was actually the head of prison was really nice, and he told me none of the women they are willing to talk to you, it's not easy. I said okay, just let me go. And the first thing which I was really shocked was to see so many little kids around. It was like a shelter for women. It didn't look like a prison. I remember I talked to the former female police who was arrested because she was alone in one room with 2 other soldiers, and the room was closed, and they look, and they said she was crying and said there is no justice. Unfortunately, there is a lot of bribing, and judges, they don't really judge according to the law and reality, because many of them they are according to what the lawyer told me. They're not educated. They don't have any academic education. What they have is just they know about Sharia law and stuff. And actually, young women, they just didn't want to leave with the guy that they were abusing them, they were beating them up, and they didn't want to be with the person that they didn't love them. They wanted to be with their loved one.
With help from Zohra, I was able to understand some of the struggles women are currently facing in Afghanistan. It was clear to me that the problem of women's rights was more complex than I'd ever imagined. I began to search for those who empowered women, similar to the way that Zohra gave a voice to Sohaila. Skatistan is a non-profit organization that uses skateboarding as a tool for empowerment. They provide access to education, leadership opportunities, and focus especially on working with girls. I spoke with Olivia Perkovich, the founder and executive director of Skatistan.
Something that's really important for girls is for them to have role models. And if you've got a positive role model that you see doing something that you want to do, I think a lot of girls don't think that they can do something because they don't see other girls doing it, or they don't have role models that are doing those sort of things. And that's especially important in a place like Afghanistan, where if you've got a really good skateboarder, or somebody that's really smart in the classrooms, or a youth leader, a female youth leader from Afghanistan, that shows all of the other girls what they could also be doing. Especially in Afghanistan, it's the second worst country in the world, or maybe the worst country in the world to be female. So they face a lot of challenges, and having role models and seeing other girls achieve things that they didn't think is possible is a really important part of building up their confidence and creating opportunities for themselves.
What other organizations were helping women in Afghanistan? The Microfinance Investment Support Facility for Afghanistan, or MISFA's mission is to be a strong and efficient organization contributing to Afghanistan's economic growth by developing a viable, inclusive financial sector for the poor. I spoke with the manager of MIFSA in Kabul.
Piloting the TUP, or targeting the ultra poor, we piloted it in Bamiyan, a very poor province of Afghanistan. We targeted 400 households. All of them are female-headed households, and the results were very surprising. So then we repiloted in one other province, a very remote one, Badakhshan. We doubled the number of participants. We increased it to 800. Again, the results were very, very satisfactory and for us. So it paved the way for scaling up this project, and now we are up to scaling up this project in 6 other provinces with World Bank funding.
While there are people working to help women in Afghanistan gain rights, the women themselves are the most dedicated. Kathleen Foster, a documentary filmmaker, documented stories in a film called Afghan Women, A History of Struggles.
We had some problems with, we had to be very careful what we did. We ran into some problems with, we just sort of narrowly escaped. I don't know what. When I went back, how many years ago is it now? 2010, yes. 2010. I think it was 2010. The situation was very, very difficult, very different.
Kathleen Foster worked closely with Women Empowered Afghanistan. This organization promotes peace by advocating for women's rights, girls' education, and gender equality. Through the organization, I spoke with Avesta, a volunteer. She graduated from the University of Kabul and played on Afghanistan's female basketball team.
It's all about men, so you have to listen to them, which is not right. Well, the war caused all this problem in Afghanistan, because before that Afghanistan was a very good country and everyone was educated, and we didn't have all these issues before. But war caused the education. Like now Afghanistan, we have like at least 95% are illiterate. I was the first, my team was the first. We had interview on TV, and we encouraged other girls to come and join us. And it was kind of hard for us because some parents and families, they weren't agree and happy with their girls go to a gymnasium or some place to play basketball. But I took that risk, and I said, no, I have to encourage other girls. It's not something that should be a crime or something.
Kabul has made some progress in gender equality. However, rural areas are much worse. Overall, do not underestimate the dangers of child marriage, the lack of education for women, along with few economic opportunities and limited legal standing. With this said, violence is also prevalent. The most recent attack, Afghan officials believe at least 25 civilians died in the Helmand province after a fierce firefight. Furthermore, after setting up an interview with Salim Rahabi, a trauma tapper with the Theater of Oppressed in Afghanistan, I received this email. The fight for women's rights in Afghanistan is going to be both long and dangerous, and it shouldn't be a war fought alone. It is our job as free women and men to help support those who are brave enough to challenge the injustices they're faced with.
You are lucky, women they have. I mean, they do everything.